Africa is rising. That's the narrative we hear. Our cities are growing, our economy is expanding, and our people striving for a brighter future. But behind the glimmer of progress, a powerful force is reshaping our continent, not with chains and whips like the colonial powers of the past, but with contracts, concrete, and debt. Today, we talk about the role of China in Africa, a relationship often sold as mutually beneficial, but one that bears striking similarities to a new form of imperialism. A new patron for Africa. In the past 2 decades, China has embedded itself deep within Africa's infrastructure and governance. It has built 7 national parliaments, influencing political institutions in ways that go beyond brick and mortar. It provided a $32 million grant for the ECOWAS headquarters, strategically positioning itself at the heart of West African regional governance. And, perhaps most notably, China built the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, a gleaming tower symbolizing Africa's unity, but later discovered to have been bugged, with data reportedly sent back to Shanghai for years. Is this assistance, or is it surveillance? Is it friendship, or is it control? The price of development. China's investments in Africa come with few political strings on the surface. No demands for democracy, no conditionalities on governance. Just money, roads, and buildings. But scratch beneath the surface, and the price of these projects becomes clear. Now, look at Africa. The continent is awash with billion-dollar projects. $3.2 billion standard gauge railway in Kenya, a project that plunged the country into deeper debt, with terms so secretive that Kenya could risk losing critical infrastructure if it defaults. $526 million Wapiti Dam in Guinea, where local communities have been displaced without proper compensation. $475 million in Ethiopia for industrial parks, further entrenching Beijing's role in shaping African economies. These projects look like progress, but they come at a cost that Africa will pay for generations. Military influence and strategic control. But China's reach isn't just economic. It extends to military cooperation, with joint drills, training programs, and arms sales reshaping African defense forces. Many African militaries now train alongside Chinese forces, learning tactics and strategies from a nation that prioritizes state control above all else. With a military presence expanding across the continent, from Djibouti's naval base to arms deals in multiple African states, China's role is no longer just about business, it's about power. Beyond infrastructure and military ties, China employs a more insidious tool, soft power. It wields influence through opaque agreements, strategic debt, and political alignments. Corrupt officials are bribed to sign away resources, leaders are lured with promises of win-win cooperation, and nations are trapped in financial dependencies that leave them at Beijing's mercy. This is modern imperialism. The flags are different, the methods have evolved, but the essence remains the same: control Africa, extract from Africa, and keep Africa reliant on foreign powers. So where do we go from here? Africa must wake up. We must learn from history. The colonial powers of the past came with ships and guns. Today, they come with loans and contracts. The names have changed, but the game remains the same. It is time for true Pan-Africanism, a vision where Africa stands on its own feet, negotiates on its own terms, and builds for its own future. Development is necessary, but it must be on Africa's terms and not dictated by foreign interests. The question remains, will Africa rise as a sovereign force, or will we become tenants in our own land once again? Fire like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Africa's untold stories.